said, we're in Santon today. We're here for the latest in a series of New Age business briefings brought to you by the SABC and kindly sponsored by JIC Mining. And today, the arts and culture arena is in focus, and this affects us all a lot more than you think. In fact, if you switch on your TV, your radio, that's just one layer. There's so many other layers. Sculptors, painters, creative industries stretches even technology now. So what we're trying to do today is unpack the economic potential of the arts, already contributing significantly to the GDP. I've been seeing some documents suggesting that the contribution of the creative industries is in the order of nearly 3%, which is huge, enormous. And the number of jobs generated in this sector is comparable with other industries such as mining and construction. So a lot of potential. 3% is a lot, but a lot more could be done. And when you consider countries like America, where it's something in the region of about 10%. So we have the potential, but to tell us how we're going to realize that potential, what journey we need to take, and perhaps answer some of the questions and concerns that you have. Perhaps you work in the creative industries. Well, today's the day to have that conversation. And to help us unpack that is the Honourable Minister of Arts and Culture, Minister Natim Tetwa. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thanks, Peter.
Next to you, someone who is, I guess, you know, when they tell the story of music and the arts in South Africa, there will be Yvonne Chaka Chaka's name in there. Thank you very much indeed, and we look forward to your insights on the life of many of our artists and the challenges that they face and maybe some of the things that could be done. And next to you is the Acting DG, Arts and Culture, Mr. Vuyo Jack. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and welcome. Let me start with you, Minister. So we've got so many documents out there. There's the White Paper on Arts and Culture, there's the Cultural Industries Growth Strategy, Mzansi Golden Economy Strategy. Efforts, I guess, to try and change the game. What is it that you want to do? How can we unleash the economic potential of the arts in your view?
Well, thanks, Peter, and viewers at home. First and foremost, transformation is the key word in the entire industry, and looking at the whole sector of arts, culture, and heritage. So that's our focus. When you see white paper, green paper, and everything else, we are aiming at changing the way industry works so that it works better for those who are practitioners. Secondly, specifically on the area of unleashing economic potential in the sector, we, as you said, that we have Mzansi Golden Economy Strategy, but we are looking specifically on building the incubators so that we expose them and give them necessary tools to flourish like any other. The third area or pillar of our approach would be the reconnecting with the continent and the diaspora, particularly because you can't talk of arts, culture, and heritage without understanding the space we operate in and the effects and the impact of colonialism has had over the entire continent since Berlin Conference, as it were. So that's, in a nutshell, broadly what we are about to do. So your programs like repatriation, it's not only of persons, but also of a body of work of South Africa, literature, artifacts, all other things which are elsewhere outside of our borders, which we are committing ourselves to ensure that indeed we'll tackle that.
Okay, Sisi Yvonne, you know, when I first met you, we bumped into each other in Ghana, and it was quick for me to realize, and I'd gone via Kenya, just how big you were across the continent. Ministers talking about connecting with Africa. Sadly, though, there's very few of you who've managed to export the brand to that level across the continent. How do you see us duplicating the Yvonne Chaka Chakas and really getting the most out of the arts so that we can contribute not just to our GDP here, but also across the continent?
Well, thank you very much, Peter, for having me. Thank you to the New Age, the SABC, and particularly to the Minister and the acting DG. I think it is about time that we are talking about this industry. The creative industry, really, in this country only, I'm not talking about Africa, it contributes $90.5 billion to the GDP. So you can imagine this needs to be done. But I really need to congratulate the Minister. I'm just not one who congratulate politicians. I think he's a new minister and he's really started aggressively. And for that, I want to thank you, Minister, because, you know, they always say a new broom sweeps clean, but you did not want to find what the other minister did and try. You came in and you just wanted to work. So for that, I'm giving you thumbs up. Keep it up and let's work.
Okay, fantastic. Okay.
And it really can be done. I think this is a continent of creativity. This is the continent of history. This is the continent of the arts. And any country that does not recognize its arts or its heritage, it's a doomed country. So I'm actually very pleased that the minister recognizes that. And it's really about time that we as artists are given the respect we deserve. But not only that, where are we in the value chain? We can't just be giving and not making what we are supposed to be as well. So with the creative, the Cultural and the Creative Federation of South Africa, CIFSA, I think we are just going to make sure that we tap into what needs to be done and we make sure that exploitation goes and this industry is regulated. But I think above all, we as artists need to work together. We've been working in silos for a very long time. I think this is the time that we have to belong and work together. Once that is done, really, people who get exploited, they will realize that if they belong to an industry or to an association, that will be very easy to bargain. You'll have a bigger bargaining power. All
right, okay. So if Minister is the policy maker, you essentially are the Chief Operations Officer. You've got to get the job done. What's going to be different? Because a lot of people are sitting here and saying, you know what, every new administration, there's a new arts minister, new DG. 20 years down the line, we've heard the same story over and over again. What's going to be different and why should we believe you?
So the critical thing is we have a vision and we need to have tangible action that allows us to build a platform to leverage the initiatives that we are currently supporting and to also come up with new initiatives that are pointing to the artist being empowered, but also the artist being empowered to do what? To create more content. Because the more content there is, and the more we are able to leverage that content through the different platforms, that is how you increase the relevance from the current status that it has to higher. So the key thing is the action and the processes that we utilize, that we must be actually making it accessible, these opportunities, and hence having portals such as the Mzansi Golden Market, whereby we can be able to utilize the government spend in one area and be able to have the point of call for artists in terms of opportunities. And the incubators, ensuring that they are able to have the tools to create more content that can be placed on the Mzansi Golden Market. And look at also within our festivals, flagship festivals that we support, how do we have a developmental program that can enable the artists to progress from just being at the bottom and be professionals and ultimately be masters. So the critical thing is how do we have decisive action, lean systems, and accessibility to the artist so that we can actually be able to see their growth.
All right, okay. Like the opening thoughts and ideas, but you know what they say, in South Africa we're great at planning. We're great at coming up with great ideas. It's the doing that's going to be the challenge. So we're going to chat a little bit about that. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to start this conversation in earnest. We're going to hear from you at home. Hashtag TNA BizBrief at Morning Live SABCs, where you can send your tweets so we can pick them up. And also we'll be getting questions from our audience here. They all come from various areas within the industry. Let's see what we can come up with in the next hour or so. So join us again after this break. Don't go away.